Hi, well, I'm standing here with my Wanhao D9. It's a Mark II version, and I hear people still complain a lot. It doesn't work, they have always problems with it, and so maybe we should try to go over the basic settings and the basic way to level the bed and so on. So start from scratch and see if we can get your printer to work as well. I mean, I have printed a lot here. This is for one of my projects. It's a drum that will be connected to a stepper motor, and there will be, I think I have somewhere the top for it. And I still need to finish something, but it has been printing for 14 hours here without any problems. And yeah. Then I have this big vase here as well. I use it for plastic waste, so I can sort it and put it out. I have a skillet here. Well, in fact, it was not the Wanhao's fault. There was a mistake in the STL file, so the head was separated. So this is plastic waste. Then I have this little funny project here. I was working on, as you can see the text, you can see it, clear ice. And my idea was to put water in here. There's a small hole in the bottom. Put it in here and then into the freezer. Well, it should be some isolating around here and the bottom, and it should matter. In fact, the cold should come from the top, so it would press out the air from that small hole here. Well, it's PLA, and it failed because it's expanding when it's got cold, obviously, and the water came out in the bottom. So well, but still, the print is really beautiful, and it's done here on my Wanhao D9. So let's dive into it, and then just let me remove this, and let me tell you the first step you need to do. And the first step you need to do is to go to the Wanhao page for firmware. I will put the link below in the description, and I have printed out the process. There is some different versions from the D9. This one is as an example with the stepper motor here close to the display, so it demands a different firmware. Because if you take one of the other firmwares, it's tried to go 0 over here, and that's not possible because the end switch is at the back here. So please read the description at the page and choose the correct firmware. Also consider the bed size. It's very well described in the printer page, firmware page from Wanhao. So when you have done that, check your firmware, upgrade it with the newest version. It is difficult to see, I have to say, that Wanhao could improve here. It would be nice if we could see the firmware version here. It's still not possible. I have updated the firmware to the 1.31, that is for my printer. But I still cannot see what version I have, and I think Wanhao should have been improving that. The next thing is that we will now measure the distance from the table, and you need to have a very flat surface. But I want to measure the distance. Mine should be correct, well, in fact, but just let it roughly be in here, and this is 162 millimeters, right? Yep. Let me see over here. And here you can see it's almost 162 as well. And here as well. And the last spot. It seems to be correct here as well. So it's very close to a level bed. We will check if the x-axis is leveled as well. after we have been here. I need some light. I'm a little bit old. And this is exactly 120 here. And exactly the same here. Well, I did install it right in the first way. So also take a look here on that you not have dirt, that the wheels here are close to the board. This means if you try to stop it while you slide it, it's not possible, right? If they are too loose and it's wobbling here, it's not really great. So you can use a tool and just adjust it a little bit here and there on these two bolts, and then you will have getting it really tight. Not too tight, of course. The same with the belt. It should not be like a violin string. That would be too tight. It should be like this one here. Hand tighten it, and then add this spring tightener as well to the belts. So now we know that the boom, the x-axis is correct in each end. We know that we have almost the same distance in these four corners of the Wanhao. So now it's time to do the leveling of the bed. And for that, we of course need to turn on our printer. The first thing I want to do, and you should do that as well, is that I will heat up the nozzle and I will remove some of the rest that we have of the filament there, so it's not cheating us for that. So let me see here, cool down, cool up, that was not the one. Settings. Preheat, here we go. And I would say we are on the PLA. So I will preheat the bed as well. It takes time to get this bed preheated to, I think it was 50, matter of fact it's 60 degrees here. So it will take some time. But it is good to do the bed leveling when the nozzle and the bed is hot, because it's expanding, and yeah. So while I'm waiting for the bed, to get hot, and the extruder, I can clean a little bit on my bed. So the nozzle and the bed is on temperature. This means I cannot feel a lot here yet, but it will come. And but we can start with the nozzle, and we can start to add some filament. And right now I can see that some of the there's nothing in there, but we get it out here right away. Simply need everything. You see there's still some of the blue inside. I think we got it. Yeah. And we should be ready to level the bed. And for that we go back and back and level and do the next. So it will now go to the home position, and the BL touch will go down and stop, and then we will go to the center and we will see and adjust with the paper. So, and here we have there's no drag at all. It's absolutely no drag. So we will have to oh my god. Now I start to get something here. Oh, we have a nice drag. I think so. Yeah, I think it's okay. So let's say that is okay. I had to go minus 1.5 millimeters down here, and well, it doesn't matter as long as we have the right leveling is in progress. Let's go again and take a look. So now I want to go one time again. So and I still have the same drag. Good. This means I will take the next step, and this means it will now level the bed and do the mesh all over the plate. And it's running. So when it's done, we will go back and we will start to load the filament. We will print a heat tower so we can figure out on what temperature at least this PLA is at its best. I started, matter of fact, higher up at, I think it runs to 215 or something like that as a maximum. But my experience with, 215. My experience with the Wanhao is that the heat is a little bit lower than it's shown on the display. So that's why I started a little bit higher, and I will end at 190 degrees within steps of 5 millimeters. So let's wait for the finishing of the leveling of the bed, and we will continue. So we are very close to the end of the leveling. Again, I normally have this procedure in all my scripts to the Wanhao because it takes time to heat the bed, and I prefer to have the bed. So I always do the leveling process, and then the bed starts to get hot. So the last round going there. So, and it starts printing. First it make a string here, and also to prime the nozzle. It's running nicely. Yeah. So we let it print. So the heat tower is done, and it came off very nice. And I mean, my eyes are not the best in the world, so I will take with a macro lens some close-up photographies, and then let us go to the computer and take a look on the heat tower. So let's do it. So guys, here is the heat tower that I have been taking a picture of in a very close position, and I want to use this gloss here a little bit to look on the colors. And you see here at the bottom, right here from there to there, we have had the temp nozzle at 225. If I look on the quality itself here, it seems to have been too hot. It's simply been too hot. And so also the clash for the layers here and here. I don't understand why we have it here, but and also here it's fall apart a little bit. It can be because if I look here, I think my retraction is wrong, and if I remember right, before the blue filament I had flexible filament in, so I probably have forgot to change the retraction. So I will do that later on when we go in and look on it. So right on spot here, 225 degrees is absolutely too hot. And if I go here to 210, the manifold looks great as well. But there is no doubt that in this area here, the quality looks quite nice here. So it will be between 185, 190. I think 190 is the right temperature for this filament. So let's take that into account, and let's go into Simplify 3D, and here is the torture test that we want to do. And we want to print this, of course, without any supports, and we want to do it, of course, on the Wanhao D9. And yes, here I see the retraction is wrong, in fact, because this is the one I use when I'm doing flexible filament. So here I wanted to put 6.5, and millimeters per second should be 40. So that's where it will be. Otherwise, this torture test has to be done within 30 minutes. This, I don't remember the infill, but I think it was 15%. The temperature, we came to 190, and I will go directly to the temperature here, because I still have the blue filament, the blue PLA in, and the bed we will give 50 degrees. I put the skirt, and I do have some infill on 15%. Of course, no support. Temperature we just on the G code. There's nothing special on that. The script says, well, I will run the auto leveling because I want the bed to be heated a little bit before we start this. And scripts turn off the bed, extruder, cooling fan, and disable all the engines. And speed here, I am on 70 millimeters per second, and that will create me a little bit above 30 minutes, but I think it's okay. And we don't have anything here, so I will update my profile, click OK, and we will do like this. It will be 33 minutes, I think that's acceptable. So let me go to the printer and let's print this torture test. Look at this amazing prints here. I mean, the heat tower we did already discuss, so it goes into my garbage can. Look on this amazing torture test of the Wanhao Duplicator D9. I mean, it's extremely close to be perfect. Look here on the overhang here. I mean, this is 80 degrees. We have been printing, of course there's no supports here. Look at the bridging here. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely close to be perfect. Look at the squares here that we have. It's absolutely perfect. And of course the pole is also looking extremely nice. Let's take a look at the bottom, because we have here a very, very thin layer. And we have a little gap. Well, it's a pity, but it's still a very, very good result. Look on the squares, the rectangle and the round holes. It's absolutely perfect. So don't come and tell me that the Wanhao can't print. You can even see it here on the smallest cylinder here. And the Wanhao have done this perfectly. So I think this is the end. We did get some quite nice prints, and all in all, what we did is we did check the firmware. We did upgrade it if well, it was necessary. We did measure and install the bed with a ruler, or leveled the bed with a ruler. Then we did the auto bed leveling, and we did calibrate it with a piece of paper, so we got some drag to it. Then we let the printer leveling the bed and do the mesh of the bed. After that, we did print a heat tower and chose the best temperature, and last but not least, we did the torture test and we succeeded with that as well. So I think it's possible to have a really nice print with the Wanhao, and you can do that as well. So from my side, happy printing, and enjoy what you get out of your printer. Take care, bye bye.